We only have 5 minutes and we'll be really fast. Otridge, we're a small company based up in Columbia, Maryland. We play in these spaces. I'm going to talk a little bit about a project we're doing with Merck. They have a $100 million Merck-Moffitt collaboration where they're getting 20,000 samples from 20,000 patients, and their big challenge is they need to bring all this together. So on the left you can see we've got lots of information about the subjects, we've got demographic information, medications information and so on, and then you have lots of information about the samples. I don't quite mean that we're taking the person's whole liver, these are usually smaller pieces. And they've got derived samples, DNA, RNA and sorts of things like that, and all the gene expression that's worked on top of that. So there's some big challenges this project brings, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got local optimization of data silos. There's data everywhere. How do you cross-reference across those? We've got data normalization. Are the same data represented in different ways in different places? And how accurate is the data? And how do we adjust the data model to accommodate evolving data needs? This is in the research world. Things change, and sometimes very quickly. How can we adapt? Who controls and validates the data so it's put out there for the end consumer to actually use? Is it trusted? Who controls the access? This is the HIPAA types of things, because we've got patient data in there. We've got tools that they need to be able to query it. We've got to enable the stakeholders, the end users. And finally on here, what support resources do they need? So this is actually the data flow that we see. There's acquisition, but then you have data cleaning, standardization, then you need to evaluate it, you need to run ad hoc queries, you need to explore it, then you'll actually take that and throw it out onto analysis tools. So I'm paraphrasing the ancient mariner with data everywhere nor any drop to drink. There is tons of data out there, and then what? So this is a quote taken from a recent article in the New Yorker. They had a researcher, a doctor, spent weeks figuring out how to pull the chaos of information into a searchable database. That's 20,000 samples, 20,000 tissues, and all that data. It's chaos. What they've done in the past is you bring up these great big entity relationship diagrams, and you have people writing all this SQL and all these abbreviations. I'm a biologist, I don't know what SQL is, I can't even spell it. So what they did, I know we hire a data manager. This is an IT person who can speak all those things, and they can analyze requirements and do all sorts of great things. And you have the end user, kind of like the subject matter experts, also go by the term SME. They like to explore data, understand what it is, poke it, prod it, squeeze it, push it, and then see what comes out the end. So let's stick them in the middle. But the problem is, you've got lots of these end users, and they have to make a request, and the request can take from days to weeks to never to get a response back, and then if you want to tweak something, you have to start all over again at the beginning. So we came up with a tool that basically allowed them to do everything by objects, so you can code without realizing you're writing SQL. Even a biologist can use it. It's even so easy an MD could use it. And the data managers use it also. I'm not going to go into it. We only have a couple of minutes left. But basically we've democratized the access to the data. These are some quotes I can do in 10 minutes, what took me hours. I just sit there and play with the data for hours. And the more he played with the data, the more he found. Again, that's a quote from the New Yorker article. If you put the data in the hands of the end users, they can explore it, and you can actually find lots of really interesting things with it. Just more pictures, and basically, I mentioned the fact that you needed to clean the data. There's value in being able to explore dirty data, so having tools that allow you to do that are also very valuable. That's another discussion about the actual months of work we saved, and basically, the last piece, this is the last slide. If you're going to have a system to support complex data projects, you need something that's agile, something's direct, something that allows exploration, and not least of which, you need something that's open, because this is not the end of the journey for the data. It's just another step to its final conclusion. That's it. Thank you.